doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate you coming onto the platform. I've been following you. Everything that you're doing, you're killing it. So it's a major inspiration.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate it. It's a
Yes,
lot
ma'am.
of hard work. People don't understand. It's a lot of hard work.
I believe it. I believe it. And I know from COVID, so many people have become content creators, making podcasts, posting more videos. When it comes to creating content, how do we be more confident, right? Because I know sometimes, like so many people think before posting, like maybe, it's not good enough. So how do we build that when it comes to our confidence?
Yeah, it's just all about really going for it. I've been doing video for about 11 years. I started off with a YouTube channel. I started off as a natural hair blogger, actually. So I've
Mm,
been in this game for about 11 years, and it's just been really great. I will say that you should just go for it. Start posting the
mm,
videos. Just go for it. I mean, I know we always want to critique, like, this looks good, this might not look good. Just go for it. That's
mm.
that's my tip. It's just really to like not critique what it is that we do and put out, and just if we need to make tweaks and edits, we know the next time to go back and do that. But we just got to get out there and create the videos and put the content out.
I love that. And what inspired you to start creating content with your own journey?
So yeah, like I said, I started off as a natural hair blogger and
Mm,
influencer. So 10 years ago, I started a blog called Happily Ever Natural. And I
mm,
also created a YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel was centered around all things natural hair. So I was doing, how-to videos and things like that. And really, how I got started was really kind of like an accident
mm.
because I didn't have any hobbies at that time. I actually have a background in healthcare, which has nothing to do with marketing. I have a master's degree in healthcare administration. So I just needed an outlet and I needed something else to keep me sane. Basically,
Mm,
I was hating my job and really trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And
mm.
this is my late 20s, so people feel like you might have a midlife crisis. I felt like I was having a midlife crisis at the age of 25 because I'm like, okay, this isn't even what I want to do. So I started my YouTube channel, I started my blog, and one of my videos ended up going viral. It was a
Wow.
video of me doing Marley twist. It was this really popular hairstyle that everybody was doing. So I'm like, maybe I should make a video about this because I had done them on my hair and I'm like, okay, I'll make a video. And my video went viral, got viewed by like 60 something thousand people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, well, maybe I have something here. So I continue just to put out content, to create different type of videos and post for Instagram and social media. And I ended up being able to work with brands and
Mm,
get noticed by brands. So just by putting out content, and I will say like my content it was good, but it wasn't like it is now. Your content is going to evolve as you go. Like you're going to learn new skills and new things like that. So I just made it a point to just put out the content and see what happens. And it
mm.
actually, ended up being good for me. I got to work with a lot of different brands. I still work with a lot of different brands as well. So it's just been a really great journey. That's pretty much how I got started. I did also used to work for a really large hair care brand, My L Organics, as their social media and digital marketing manager. And how that came about was ended up getting fired from my job in healthcare
Wow.
back in 2016. Like it was so crazy because I was like, okay, well, maybe the universe is trying to tell me I should just really focus on my own thing. So I went hard on that, freelancing, and then I ended up getting the job at my Yale with no marketing degree whatsoever. So I'm here to tell you anything is possible because I don't have a marketing degree, and I
Mm,
definitely was able to get a job in the industry to help me build my skills, and it was an amazing journey. So
mm. I love that. And, from being on your page, I can tell that you're someone who took a chance on themselves and you believe in yourself. So for creatives out there who were going through a similar experience from hating that job, but their hobby and their passion is creating content, what words of advice would you have for them of taking that leap and that leap of faith?
yeah, I definitely took a leap of faith too when
Mm,
I quit my really good paying amazing job. Most people thought I was so crazy for leaving this job because I won't lie, it was an amazing job. It was a dream job, but
mm,
I knew that I had to step out on faith to really make my dreams come true. And
Mm,
sometimes you're not going to be able to see what's going to happen after this, right? You just have to know that God has you, the universe, whatever you believe in has you, and
mm,
that it's going to work out. And I believed in myself, and I knew that what I had and the ideas that I had was it was great. And I
mm,
just really stepped out on faith to be, to be a full-time entrepreneur and to start my social media agency. But you should also have a plan too. I'm not the one to tell people just to quit your jobs or anything like
yeah.
that. Don't quit your job yet. Make sure that you use your job to help you further along your business. And I'm not saying like use your job, like don't show up and do the work. Show up and do the work. Do the best that you can, but you have to have time management and
Mm,
understand how to manage your time at your 9 to 5 and manage your time at your full time. On your side hustle, so that your side hustle can become
mm,
your full time job. But just go for it. For me, I had a plan, and I just knew that everything will work out. I mean, I've always been that type of person where when I do something and take a chance on myself, it always works out. So I didn't have any doubts. And a lot of times we have doubts about ourselves, but I knew that if I didn't quit my job, that I would be mad at myself because I
mm.
was getting all the signs, all the messages from God and the universe, like, it's your time. So just go for it.
I love that. And also, you're someone who knows how to monetize their skill sets. I know that you have bundles, consultations, all that stuff, which is amazing. For people who are talented in this space, how do you go about monetizing what you're truly gifted at? How do you do that?
Yeah, so definitely monetize your skills. So for me, I
Mm,
started off again as a blogger influencer. I found out that you can work with brands and create sponsor content to share on your blog, to share on your Instagram or social media pages. So that was the first way that I started making money on social media, was working with brands as a blogger and influencer and promoting their products and services.
mm,
Recently, I got into sharing my digital products and services. So I have courses. I also have digital products, and digital products are a really good way to start out because sharing your expertise and what you know and bundling that up into a product it's really good passive income. You whatever you know, and I people may feel like this, like, oh well, people can just go Google it, but really, can they Google it?
mm.
You're putting your
Right.
touch on it, you're putting what you know and putting it into a product. And I'm pretty sure people want to buy it from you than trying to Google and figure out what it is that they're trying to figure out, because you're giving them the blueprint. So when I
Mm,
figured out that it was beneficial to create products, I'm like, oh, bet, let me create some products, let me bundle them together, package it up. I mean, I have Instagram courses, I have a course on Reels, I also have a course on how to pitch to brands. And then also with opening my social media agency, I offer different services to entrepreneurs and business owners. So I do work with product-based brands
mm,
for social media management, and I have a team, and we help to manage our clients' social media accounts. And then I
mm,
also offer different services like strategy sessions, VIP sessions for people who are ready to talk about social media strategy. So bundle up and yes, sell your services. Even if you're just freelancing, you don't have to have an agency like I do. It's just I wanted to start that way. And I actually did start as a freelancer before I created my agency. So you can definitely do freelance work, copywriting. I mean, you could create Instagram posts for people and sell it like a done for you. It's so many different ways that you can make money. You just have to really tap into your skills.
I love that. And I know so many people think that you have to have 100,000 plus followers, 2 million followers. How do you seal brand partnerships, even if
Yeah,
you have like a small following, right?
right. So you do not need 10,000 followers to work with brands. What
Mm,
you do need is really good content, though. You do need to have good content, and you do need to think about it as a business. You may not be running it as a business right now, but just think about what that's going to look like and how you can go about doing that. So what I did was, when I found out that I could make money working with brands, I just started posting the content that I wanted to be paid for. So for instance, I didn't used to do travel on my Instagram, but I started to post travel content. Me and my husband would go on a trip. I would get content on the whole trip, make a blog post, share the story, share on my Instagram feed. And then people seeing that, you never know who's watching your Instagram too. So because people have private profiles you may not even know about, or they could be viewing it from the computer. You never know. So I ended up doing that content, and I ended up being approached by different like travel boards and travel companies to come to, you know, their city or whatever and create content and get paid for it. So definitely just tap into your skills, start to share the content that you want to be paid for. And if you like a specific brand, my tip is to tag that brand when you're posting the content. Like usually before I even want to work with the brand or I start that conversation, I'll make sure that I've already been tagging them and sharing, showing the love, because when they go back to their inbox, they're going to say, oh, she's already been talking about us. So you want to do that.
That's dope. Thames Media Solutions, you have your own social media agency, which is super, super dope. What was the inspiration behind that happening? How'd that start?
The inspiration behind it was really to create generational wealth for my family, to be quite
Mm,
honest. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I didn't even know anybody in my family who was an entrepreneur until like I was older. And I was like, oh, they were entrepreneurs? Like, you didn't tell me. Like, my parents never told me. Like, I didn't even know about entrepreneurship. But opening my agency, me and my husband, we own the agency. And it was just super important for us to have something to be able to pass down, or I mean, even if our daughter doesn't want to work there, something that's ours, something that we can create wealth from, that's going to
mm,
continue on. That was really important. So, and also just creating an agency because I love social media so much, and I just knew that I would be able to do that by having this agency in different services and things in different areas of that. So
mm.
that's pretty much why I created it. But the number one reason is definitely for my family to continue to build that generational wealth.
I love that. Generational wealth right now, that's one of the biggest things being talked about every single day, even, you know, amongst everyday Black folks. Like, I love seeing it. Seeing somebody like you doing it through content, right? Can you speak on the power of content, that it can also create wealth and it can be passed down in ownership through content as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, either don't look at content, or they're like, oh, well, I can't be on social media creating like all these videos and photos and doing all this stuff. But content is what's going to help you get your brand noticed online. If you have a product based or service based business, the thing that is going to get you eyes is your content. So you have to think of everything as content, kind of, sort of.
Mm,
I mean, you some people are like, oh, well, I don't want to film me doing this or film me doing that. Well, you can hire somebody to do that, or to film your content or create whatever it is that you want for your business. But you need to have really good content, and you need to share that content online. This app that we're on right now is free.
yeah,
It is free, right? I
yeah,
mean, of course, you could create ads and stuff and things like that, but this is free. Like, you
yeah.
need to use this to reach millions of people, the millions of people that are on this app. I'll say that when I first started creating more content about social media per se, because again, I started off as a natural hair blogger, pivoted to a lifestyle blogger, which I still am. So I do still share like things about brand partnerships and things like that, but more recently pivoting into being a social media strategist and expert. When I started to share that content and I seen how well it was doing, I'm like, oh, well,
Mm,
I'll just start to share more of this content. My audience really loves the tips that I give on social media, because it's tips that's valuable to any person who has a business or is a creative or
mm,
looking to grow their brand on social media. So the content is going to be key if you're really trying to get noticed online. I mean, I get DMs every day. I've gotten so many referrals, just like, oh, well, somebody shared your video on social media, and then they
mm.
get back to me. So you never know like who's watching your page or like who's sharing your content, because sometimes, you know, when people share, they have a private page, you're not going to be able to see that they shared it,
Facts.
but you're going to be able to see that in your analytics. So keep sharing bomb content, and I'm telling you
Mhm.
that you will grow your brand on social media.
I love that. McDaniel S. Warren asked a great question. How do you differentiate yourself from the hundreds of other businesses that are similar?
Be you. I
Mm.
don't even care about anybody else who has a social media agency, anybody else who's a social media strategist. Do you know how
Yeah.
many social media strategists there are and social media experts? And I'm saying that because it's so easy to be an expert in social media,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Or it's so easy to be a fitness expert or whatever, but you can't even worry about those people. Like, I'm not the type of person that worries about what other people are doing, to be quite honest. I'm
Mm.
like on my own path in my own lane. And while I do research and things like that, but I'm just not, no, I'm not single. I'm definitely married. 12 going on 12 years. Thank you
Let them
very,
know.
very much. Just had to address it. I'm like, no, no,
Hey, I
no. I am
understand.
definitely married if you go to my page.
I
I just don't have on
understand.
my ring right now. But yeah, definitely. I don't even remember what I was saying before
You
oh,
done
don't worry
blew it
about
off.
other people, because
Mm.
there's always going to be another social media strategist or another expert or another podcast. Like,
Facts.
if you would have thought that, you wouldn't have done your podcast, right? So there's so
Mm-hmm.
many different podcasts and things. You just have to go for it, and you really just have to have tunnel vision and
Mm.
know that you set yourself apart by being you. I think that a lot of people follow me because they like my personality, they like who I am. Everybody's not going to be for you. So you have to be okay with that. Like, you're not for everybody, but you will find your tribe online. You just have to be yourself.
That's facts. And you're someone who provides value on an everyday basis. You always make a post about how to grow our followings, engagement. Can you please speak on the importance of creatives providing value to all the people who follow them and support them?
Yes, providing value is so important. I think for me, like when I follow influencers and experts and people like that online, I want to follow people who are giving me really good information, like not just showing me everything that they have or things like that. I want to know how can you help me? Like, how can you help me with the problems that I have? I think that's where we get stuck at sometimes, is like we don't think about, oh, well, what problems does my audience have? Let me
Mm.
solve that for them. You could do that through a post. I just created a post today, a slider post,
Yeah, I saw
giving
that.
5 Instagram engagement tips. And actually, that was the first time that I did a slider post like that. And it has gotten like 70 shares, 100 saves. I'm like, what? So that's the type of content that you want to put out there, that content that will be valuable to somebody else. So quick tips, anything like
Mm.
that. I mean, of course, you can still share the good things and, the behind the scenes or your car or whatever, but just make
Mm.
sure that the content that you are sharing is valuable and provides value to your audience, because I'm pretty sure people are getting tired of just following people who aren't providing value. And I don't think that that's even talked about enough.
Mm.
If you're going to be an influencer, if you're going to be somebody who's an expert, if you're going to be somebody who, is sharing your entrepreneur journey, make sure that you are providing value to your audience. The people follow us because they want to follow us, and I want to be able to provide and be a valuable resource to them.
Mm, that's great. And earlier, you just said something that was very important. You were checking your insights, the stats, and seeing what people wanted to actually see, right? So I know as creators, we can get very stubborn, but can you speak on why, we should check our insights and see what our followers actually want to see from us and to also hear from us as well?
Yeah, so I check my insights probably every day. I'm
Mm,
crazy.
that's good.
Definitely, you want to check your insights, because that's what's going to be your determining factor to tell you what your audience likes.
Mm,
And I don't typically focus on the likes as much. I know, like, the likes got took away last week, they put them back, it was this whole
yeah.
thing, but likes don't hold as much weight. What you really want
Mm,
to focus on is saves and shares. That
mm,
is where you're going to know, okay, people like this content and people want to see that. So definitely looking at your insights to create more of those type of posts for your audience. So like the post I created today, it did good. So now I know I'm in here. I can share more posts like this on Tuesday, because it's Tip Tuesday. And then
mm,
to give yourself like themes and content pillars to work off of. So I like Tip Tuesday, so I just incorporate that into my social media strategy. I mean, it doesn't have to be every Tuesday, but now that I know, okay, they like these posts, I'm going to share
mm.
them again. Another thing is too, looking at your insights, and I use Later. I don't know if anybody else uses that or if you use that, but the Instagram analytics is kind of hard to understand. So if you like have a platform like Later or Hootsuite that helps you understand analytics better, I
Mm.
would use that too. I know Creator Studio as well has
Mm.
good analytics.
That's dope. That's dope. And for creatives right now, right, who want to create, but they have no idea of where to go, what to post, what they should even talk about. What are some simple steps to start learning? All right, I should start posting this. I should start talking about this. How do they start that journey?
Yeah, so definitely come up with what your niche is going to be and what you're
Mm,
going to talk about. You want to have that established. So, like I said, when I first started, I knew that I wanted to just be a natural hair blogger. So, I talked only about natural hair. And then I began to pivot and develop, my brand and to figure out really what I wanted to post about. But you should definitely have that set. You should definitely have the base set of what your niche is going to be so that you're not all over the place. So, make sure that
mm,
you start off with there. And also content pillars are important. So those are the
mm,
different categories that you're going to be talking about. Like for me, it's social media, fitness, family, lifestyle, right? So I'm
mm.
going to always talk about something in one of those categories because it's just a continuous what I talk about on my page. So just make sure that you have your niche. And I'm not saying you have to like be niche specific because a lot of people are like, oh, niche down. I kind of shy away from that because I feel like you want to talk about a variety of things, right? Well, if you're
I
someone
feel
like
you.
me, I
Yeah.
want to talk about a
Yeah.
variety of things and I don't want it to be
Hmm.
boring. So definitely start off with your niche. Now, when it comes to posting, definitely do your research and do your research, competitor analysis, and see what other people are posting online. Like for me, I was a very early adopter to Instagram Reels.
Mm,
So I make sure to always do research on other social media strategists or whoever in the social media field. Like, what are they sharing on Reels? How is it resonating with their audience? How can I, take a similar idea and make it mine? Don't think that you're stealing other people's ideas either. You're doing research. Make it
mm.
yours. Don't like do it word for word. Like, that's where people mess up. Like, you can definitely get inspiration from people to help you with creating content.
I love that. And speaking on reels, you're someone who kills it when it comes to
Thank
posting
you.
reels. You give us gems on posting reels. Why should we start using reels more?
Because you should start using reels more because the algorithm is really not determined. You can get so much reach by using reels. I mean, one of my reels got viewed 103,000 times.
Wow.
So definitely use reels to your benefit. Instagram is prioritizing reels now because reels are new. So they
Mm,
want you to use them. I am actually posting one reel a day for the next 14 days to see really like what is it going to change with my growth. So I
mm,
posted two reels yesterday and they both did good from my perspective. So I'm posting another reel today and we're going to see.
mm,
So definitely post reels because you are able to not, I don't want to say beat the algorithm, but work with the algorithm to definitely get your content viewed by more people.
that's good. And also, consistency is a really big thing. I know for a creative, sometimes it could be overwhelming to constantly have to create new posts, new podcasts, just new things like on an everyday basis. How do we start being more consistent? And if we do feel overwhelmed about having to post things, how do we break that whole process down?
Yes, consistency is definitely key.
Mm,
Batching your content is what is going to help you stay ahead. So what I do is I schedule photo shoots monthly,
mm,
and I batch my content. I batch my reels. So I rent out a peer space or an Airbnb or whatever it is, or I use my house. It just depends on what I'm feeling about the content because I use all three. But I
nice.
will make sure to batch my reels content. So what I do is I research, I save the real examples that I like, and then I come back to them. I write out if I have a script or if not, if it's just a pointing reel. Most of the reels I do is just like I'm not even saying anything.
Mm,
So those are the easy ones to do, and I just batch them. And then when I'm ready to schedule them out, I have a content calendar that I work with, and I'll say, okay, I wanted to do that one reel where I was saying nope, yep, whatever. And so now that's going to be the reel that I share for Tuesday tips or whatever.
I love that. And I know you had a big announcement with New Fluence, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
if you can you speak on that, the purpose of the platform, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so New Fluence is a platform for creators of color. I
Mm,
am so excited because I am partnering with them to be their resident social media strategist. So I'll be providing
nice.
tips. They're posting a tip Tuesday today. I think it'll be at 3 o'clock. So check that out. But
Yeah.
really, New Fluence is amazing platforms for creators to help you get and land the brand deals that you want. There will be so many different tools. They're coming out with um, things for you to create media kits and everything.
Mm,
So it's going to be the platform that you're going to want to be a part of, especially if you're a new creator. So make
mm.
sure to go to their website and their link in their bio to sign up to be a part of the launch. Yeah, but I'm really excited. It's definitely a great thing for creators of color. I think that a lot of times we get overlooked for many different opportunities, and to be a part of a program like this is just really, I'm really excited because I am so passionate about influencer marketing and especially helping other influencers to level up, to grow their brands on social media, and to work with their dream brand. So definitely stay tuned for more on Newfluence. I'm excited to be a part of it, and it's going to be so dope. So make sure you sign up. I wouldn't want you to miss out on this. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it more on my page, but thank you for bringing it up because it's definitely
Yeah,
something that new creators will want to be a part of.
I love that. And again, 2020 from COVID, so many people started creating, and Black creators, especially when it comes to the podcast space and just creating, I see like a big surge in it. How do you feel about seeing more Black people creating now and doing things that are different?
I'm happy because I
Mm.
used to get looked at like I was crazy. You're creating you're gonna be a YouTuber. You're creating. You have a social media. What's that? You're an influencer. So I am so excited to see so much more people of color creating because your voice matters. Don't think that just
Mm.
because what you're doing is not like the normal, that it's not like that is something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. There's so many creative people. It's so many creators, and I'm just excited to see the shift and more of us, creating podcasts, creating YouTube channels, creating so many amazing things. So I'm just happy to see it because I am definitely for my people all the
Yes.
time, all day. I support Black owned business. I put as many Black people businesses, like I shared in my Insta stories. My whole entire team is Black. Like I'm really serious when it comes to supporting my people, and I just want to be able to also give other people opportunities as well.
No, that's awesome. And speaking of podcasts, you have a podcast of your own, social media, a Decoded podcast. Can you speak on the purpose of your podcast and what inspired you to even create a podcast in the first place?
Yes, so my podcast is Social Media Decoded, and the reason why I created the podcast was because I don't like to listen to long podcasts, and I like podcasts that are short, sweet, and to the point. And I wanted to, it's called Social Media Decoded because I wanted to decode social media in a way that's understandable and that I can simply break it down for people. So in my episodes, they're really short, 5 to 7 minute episodes. If I'm interviewing somebody, maybe 10, 30 minutes, but
Mm.
it's definitely short, sweet, and to the point tips that you can use and actionable tips that you can apply to see results. So that's all about what my podcast is about.
Nice. And I think you said you had what, over 2,500 downloads, 40 countries plus. Like, how did that feel, seeing all those stats from your
It's
podcast?
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I started the podcast during the pandemic. So don't
Mm.
use this, us being at home in the pandemic. I did not use that
Right.
as a crutch. I was like, oh, bet we're in a pandemic. I have
Yep.
this podcast idea. Let me just flush it out and really go for it.
Mm.
So it was crazy to learn that like people love my podcast, that people download it, so many different countries. Like I don't think that I realized the magnitude until I like really looked at my insights. Like, there's people in Australia, like there's people
Yeah.
in China, like listening to my podcast. So
Mm.
it just really was just so great to see that and just say, wow, like I created something that people are listening to in other countries. Like it's just crazy to think that. So if you have a dream, if you have a goal, go for it. I never could have imagined that my podcast would be, 2,500 downloads 6 months later. I mean, I didn't even think two people would listen to it. So you
Mm.
just have to put it out there. You just have to keep going. There will be times when nobody will listen to your podcast, when nobody will listen to your episodes, but you just got to keep going because you know that your podcast or your YouTube, your blog is needed. And you just got to keep going because it's not always going to be the good times when people are listening to it. You got to go through that period where nobody.
And for podcasters out there who can say, well, Michelle, you have 30K followers, only have 300. How do I get followers on my podcast or guests on my podcast? How do I do
Just
that?
like you did for me, reach out to
Yeah.
people. Don't be scared
Yeah.
to reach out because I have
Mhm.
30,000 followers. That means nothing. I am
Yeah.
the same as every other person. I am not a celebrity. I do
Right.
not, none of that. I'm just a regular, everyday person who went for it and who decided that I did not want to have a normal life. You know what I'm saying? I just felt that I wanted to go after my dream. So that's what I preach to everybody is to just reach out. You never
Mhm.
know who you can meet on social media and who you can
Mhm.
connect with. So if you want to get guests on your podcast, reach
Mhm.
out to them. I've reached out to
Mhm.
so many people who haven't even responded back to my message, but that's okay. I'll keep
Yeah.
going and keep reaching out to people so that they can
Mhm.
be on my podcast. So
Mhm.
don't take no as a, emotional thing towards you. It's just business. So keep reaching out to people, keep finding new people to collab with, and definitely ask them to be on your podcast, but you have to reach out. You have to pitch people.
That's great stuff. And earlier you said something very important about having a team and you empowering other people who look like you. Can you speak on the importance of building a team around you? Because I know as creatives, social media strategists, you can't do it alone. So can you please speak on the importance of just having people around you, who can help you as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. So this team, it happened so quick and crazy. Like my agency grew over the last 2 months and I was just like, oh my God. Like it was really great. And I was just like, wow. So I started hiring people last year because it's all about delegating. You cannot
Mm,
do everything on your own. And I was beginning to feel very overwhelmed with the amount of work that I had. So I hired an intern first, and then I hired social media managers to help with the agency because we have different clients who we manage their social media. So I hired social media managers to help with those accounts. And then I recently hired an administrative assistant because I just, again, there's so much that I have
mm,
to do every day. And just looking at areas that I could outsource to other people that would make my life easier, and that so then I could focus on money generating activities, which
mm,
are the things that you do to continue to create the income, like filming videos. Like that is a money generating activity. Creating reels, creating content, that is money generating activities. And also just delegate. I read somewhere last year to hire before you even feel like you're ready. I don't feel like I was
mm.
ready last year, but I'm like, you know what, let me just start hiring people because I know and I feel that the shift is coming. So I'm really glad that I had also systems and processes in place, because if you don't have
Yeah.
systems, if you don't have processes, it's not going to be good for you. So make sure that you have all of that set up too before you even think of hiring people, because what you don't want to do is hire people and then all of your back end stuff is all messed up. You want to make sure, and I'm a very organized person, so I'm like super organized, lists. I got Google Drive, ClickUp,
Yeah.
everything. So just make sure that you're organized, because that affects the people that you hire, and it affects your clients and stuff like that. Like
Right.
I wouldn't want to hire a client on and they're like, oh my God, what are we doing? Everything is so
Mm,
disarray. So
mm,
just make sure that you have your in-house together too before you even start to hire people. And another thing about hiring people is a lot of people just don't think about building relationships with those people. Like people just hire people and just be like, do this. Like, no,
yeah.
I text my people, like we talk, I text my team like, hey, how you doing today? Hey girl, happy International Women's Day. I mean, I don't think that people just forget about that. Like they're people too. Like don't just hire people and then just be like, just do this, you know?
Mm. I love that. And for creatives right now who are going through that process that you just went through about finding people to be on your team, how do you know that someone is a great fit for you
Oh,
and
that's a
for
good
the
one.
business as well?
I've been through firing people and all of
Trials
that.
and tribulations.
Yes, I've been through the trials and tribulations. I think that you just have to go with what your gut is telling you and really
Mm,
listen to your intuition. I'm very big on listening to my intuition when it comes to people. I'm a great people reader for the
mm.
most part. Sometimes I could be wrong, but I'm a good people reader for the most part. And
Yeah.
I like to get on Zoom. So every call that I had
Mm,
when I was hiring somebody was via Zoom, because I wanted to see their mannerisms. I wanted to see
mm,
like their true personality and who they were. And I was just really honestly very blessed to hire good people who really, you know, understand my vision and really want to help me. Everybody that I hired, to believe it or not, I found on social media or found
Wow.
me on social media. So
Wow.
I was really fortunate too, because all the people who reached out to me already knew about my brand. They had already been following me, so they wanted to be a part of what I was doing. So that makes a difference too when you hire people who actually want to be a part of what you're doing. I think that that was a big difference for me. Really, those people who applied were probably already following me or referred by somebody that they know. So it's been a good ride.
That's dope.
We're
That's dope.
rolling.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And so far, what do you love the most about empowering the people that's in your circle right now?
Everything. I'm just
Mm,
really a positive person, and I like empowering other people because I've been there. I've been through the darkest darks. I've been through the lowest lows and the highest highs. So I just really know that when you empower other people and when you help other people to reach their dreams and goals, it's only gonna do, you know, make things better for you too. I would never want to be a person that doesn't inspire people. Like, I will inspire people to do whatever it is that you want to do. I think it's just so important to, especially for people of color, for my Black people. We
mm,
gotta inspire other women, especially
mm,
women. Women empowerment is so important to me, and it's like it could be catty and it could be this and it could be that. Not that's not women empowerment. Real women empowerment is what I'm doing, hiring other Black
mm.
women to come and work for my agency to continue to help them develop their skills in social media or whatever it is that they want to do. That's women empowerment. So I'm all about empowering other women. It's so important to me, and I will always continue to do that.
And staying on that same point, what challenges do you think that women of color face in the content creation space?
So many challenges. I think as creators and influencers, before like all of this, before like June when all the George Floyd stuff happened, it was like it was really a struggle for Black creatives to get brand deals and to be noticed by brands. I mean, Black creators are working with brands, but it's like a divide, you know, and
Mm,
especially in the creator community. But I don't think that you should take that to heart. I really think that any creator of color, you just need to level up and really show these brands and show everybody what you are about. And not only showing the brands what you're about, create your own products, create your own services and sell those too.
mm,
So don't just be hung up on working with brands or working with whoever. Create your own lane, create your own products. That's where the real power
mm.
is, and when you create something for yourself.
Ownership. And I know for a creative, so many times we'll create something, but this big corporation comes in, takes the idea, renames it, repackages it. So how do we shift that mindset of, hey, I'm gonna create this, but also I'm gonna own this as well?
Yeah, so I would definitely say you want to make sure that when you are working with brands too. I actually talk to an influencer attorney that helps me with a lot of things when I have, you know, that comes with like
Mm,
ownership of things like that. But you want to be careful too, because when you work with brands, they do own the content as well as you. So you just want
mm,
to be mindful when you're working with different brands and things like that, that you're not giving away your content forever. A word to look for in any campaign that you work with is perpetuity. That means
mm,
forever. That means they'll have your
mm,
content forever. And I don't know who can afford my content forever. Probably
mm,
nobody. Because that's like
mm.
forever residual that they'll be making money off your content. I mean, you essentially own it too, but the brand owns it as well. And they can use it forever if you sign away perpetuity.
Wow, wow, that's big. That's big. So when it comes to the contracts and the brand partnerships, should we get lawyers? Should we lawyer up? And then two, how do we expand our thought process and our knowledge when it comes to reading these contracts as well?
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
didn't want
no,
my phone to die on us
you
while we're
good.
having this really great
You're good.
conversation. So
You're good. It is no problem.
I just want to make sure that. Oh no. Okay. I think it's charging.
Okay, cool. But yeah,
Um,
that's no problem.
yeah, you definitely want to look at. I don't even know if this is charging. It's like so many percentage. I'll put it in my computer, so I'll go closer. But yeah, no, you do want to look at contracts because you want to know what you're signing away. So I do suggest to talk to a attorney only if you feel that you don't know what's going on.
Mm,
Only if you feel that way. Um,
mm,
Perpetuity is one thing to look for. You also want to look at the deliverables. What are they
mm,
asking you for? You also want to look at like the terms of the agreement, also like 30, 60, 90 days, where they could pay you. Like most payments are like net 60 or net 30. So
mm,
that means that you're not even going to get paid right away. So you definitely want to make sure that you know what the contract is talking about and that you're able to understand that. And if you don't really know like contract terms and things like that, I would definitely say to speak to an attorney that can help you with your contracts or somebody that you know.
I love that. And you're someone who gets paid to do what you love every single day. When it comes to creatives, social media strategists, how do we learn or know what we should charge? Because I know so many times people are afraid of charging too much. People feel like they're charging too low or like right, like in between, in the middle, right? So how do we know what we should charge?
Yeah, so I typically tell people, you know what you charge. So what I started to do was whatever my rate was for my full-time job, I would take
Mm,
that and like divide up how many hours it's going to take me to get through this content or to create this
mm,
content. That's what
mm,
I used to base it off of. Now I have just like a base normal price. There's different pages. I think one of them is called Influencer Pay Gap. And
mm,
you can go there and see like what other influencers are charging. And this is such like a gray area, to be honest with you.
mm,
It's like not talked about enough, like what
mm.
to charge, because I can't tell you what to charge, Caleb, because that's like something that you would have to base it on. Like, what if I got to get a new outfit? What if I have to
Yeah,
hire a photographer? What if I
yeah,
have to buy props? What if I
yeah.
have to find somebody to babysit my daughter? All of
Mm,
that is going to go into what I'm going to charge. So it may be different for every campaign, depending
mm.
on the deliverables that they're asking me for.
That's great info. And also on your page, one thing that I love seeing too is you're extremely transparent. Like you show the process, the fitness journey, everything. And I think that that builds a sense of community amongst, everyone who follows you, right? So can you speak on the importance of creatives also being transparent? Like you don't have to put on a show 24/7.
Yeah, I am me. This is the me you're gonna get if we're on here. If I see you in the street, it's the same me. Like I'm so big on being authentic because again, going back to earlier when we were talking about the different influencers, it's just important for you to share your story and to be who you are. I think that a lot of times we don't really show who we are because we're afraid of what other people are going to think. And
Mm,
like I said earlier, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I don't care about how you feel. That's the problem of the person. I think
mm,
that we have to get into that mindset and just share. And again, I don't share like my whole entire life. What happens, like you only see what you see, what I allow you to see, right? But I am going to share those authentic parts of my life that are teaching moments. Like I got fired from my job. I'm going to share
mm,
that because that is going to help somebody else. And like you said, this fitness journey, I want to show people that just because you are thin, that doesn't mean that you don't have to work out. Like you can
mm,
still, go after something that you want, the body that you want. Like
mm,
being skinny is no excuse for not being healthy and fit in the gym. So I'm going through and sharing that process because I want people to know that it was a struggle for me. I had quit working out so many times and I said, okay, I got to hire a personal trainer and really get serious with this or else I'm not going to do it. But just
mm,
showing people too that dedication because no matter what, if I have a bad day, I mean, I still got to go to the gym because I pay for it. So I'm still going
mm,
to go. So just staying true to myself and really focusing on the things that are important to me and sharing those as well as sharing those moments that may not be so, glitz and glam. I think that that's important because like you said, it's all about building community. And that's
mm,
how you build community is showing your audience who you are so that they can get to know you. They want to know
mm,
you. They're following you for you. So don't try to be like anybody else. Just be you. Like I don't even know how to be anybody else because I'm
mm,
just me. So that's
mm.
that's how everybody should be. Like you shouldn't want to, be like anybody else. People follow you for you and as long as you continue to be genuine and authentic, I think that you will build that community.
That's dope. And for people right now who want to be a social media strategist full time, what should they expect from being in that field, and also how do they begin that journey as well?
Being in social media, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm,
Definitely, I would say start off freelancing. If you want to be a social media manager, you can. It's
mm,
definitely so much opportunity and money
mm,
in freelancing. So if you know somebody who needs help with their social media, put together some packages and let them know what you can do. There's so many creators who are also social media managers because it just fits. It's because you already know what to do on social media. You're already managing your own social media. Hey,
mm,
why not manage other people's social media? It's definitely a lucrative business, and it's definitely a good lane to go in if you really like social media. Now, you got to like
mm,
social media to be a social media manager
mm.
because it's like the algorithm changed tomorrow. This can
Yeah.
change tomorrow. Some new feature could be added that your clients should be using. So definitely, I would say start as freelance to get some clients under your belt. And then, if you want to create an agency, you can do that. But you can always just be also a social media strategist and offer those type of services to people as well. So you just have to start.
I love that. And social media, especially Instagram, it changes almost every single month. Reels just got added. This thing, it gets added. Likes get taken away, added back. As somebody who's managing social media accounts, how do you stay up to date?
Oh yeah, I am subscribed to so many different publications. Like Social Media Today is a really good one. They always have like the latest news when it comes to social media. So I always get different emails to my inbox, and I go through there to figure out what it is that I need to let my clients know, what I need to know. I definitely send them send them messages and things on what they need to know. So just staying on top of everything as a social media strategist. Subscribing to different publications, just having your ear out to the social media world. I mean, as a social media strategist, you would think that I'm on social media all day, but I'm really not on here all day.
Mm,
I really do my research, get on here when I need to get on here and do what
mm,
I need to do, but definitely sign up to different publications so that you can stay aware of what's going on social media. Again, a good one is Social Media Today and Later. Later has a blog. Later was the app that I was talking about that schedules your
mm.
content out. They also send out really good emails with different updates on social media, especially Instagram.
Good stuff, good stuff. And for social media strategists and creatives who are trying to grow that clientele, how do you start attracting more clients?
Yo, Instagram content.
Mm, goes back to that.
Instagram content, like I will say, ever since I started doing reels, I've attracted more people.
Mm,
Um, this is what I want to say about attracting clients because you can attract wrong clients. So last year, I felt that I wasn't attracting my ideal client and I wasn't
mm,
attracting the clients that fit with my agency. So I had
mm,
to really get in the right mindset. And really, this is what I did. Like, I got into the mindset and I said, okay, this is the type of client that I want. This is what they have to have. This is the amount of money that they have to be able to afford my services. They have to have all of these things. So I wrote them
mm,
down. I'm really big on journaling and manifesting. So I
mm,
wrote down who I wanted my ideal client to be. You have to be clear on that because if you're not, you're going to get people who aren't ready. Last
mm,
year, I got so many people who were not ready, who wasted my time on discovery
mm,
calls. In 2021, I said, I am not wasting my time on discovery calls with people who are not ready. So I
mm,
changed the whole entire process on how people can even apply to work with me. So I have an
mm.
application process.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
yes. So if
Yeah.
you don't even make it through the application process, we have my team will go in and say, okay, thanks for, blah, 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 and
Mm,
send them a message. But you have to know who that target person that you're targeting is, because if you
mm,
don't know who that is, you're not going to even be able to create the content to attract that person. So
mm,
just make sure if you're really serious about attracting clients to your business that you know who that client is, you know what they look like, what their
mm,
bank account looks like, what
mm.
they are about.
Yeah, that's real. And Style by Candy, she asked, how did your clients feel about Instagram taking away likes?
I didn't even get to tell them because they brought them back. But I
So
was
quick.
going to tell them, hey, they took away the likes. I don't think that it will affect a lot, to be honest with you. I think Instagram just needs to take away the likes because a lot of people don't post because they feel like, oh, nobody's going to like this, so I'm not going to post it, or it's
Mm,
not going to get a lot of likes, so I'm not going to post it. Likes are a vanity number and makes people feel validated.
mm,
So if you take that out of the equation and know that no matter what, your content is bomb, you're going to post it
yeah,
regardless.
that's real. And how do you balance everything? I know being a wife, mom, social media strategist, creative, how do you balance all those different hats?
Being organized, my calendar is my lifesaver, and if I don't have it in my calendar, it's probably not going to happen. um just being very organized. I mean, I have planners, I have sticky notes everywhere. I'm sure you see all the sticky
Mhm,
notes. Like, I just have to make sure that I'm keeping myself organized, because if you don't, things can fall apart. And being a mom and a wife, you do also have to take time for yourself and take time for your family. Like, I mean, my husband knows that this time right now is just super, super busy, but we have a vacation coming up. Thank you, God. I'm so ready for this trip that I'm about to go on. I was so nervous, but we booked a trip to Mexico
mm,
for my
mm,
anniversary, and I am going to really debrief. As an
mm,
entrepreneur, you have to book time away from your job. You have to book vacations. You have to do it, because if you don't, burnout is real, and I've been there, and I don't want to be burned out. Like, I almost had to go to the hospital because I was burned
mm,
out. And you don't
mm,
want to be burned out, because it's just not the right place to be. So scheduling that time, even if you have to schedule it in your phone, at
mm,
9 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and read a book. I'm
mm,
really good at blocking stuff out. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. It's time to go on the family walk, or it's 8 o'clock. It's time for us to
mm,
do this. And I mean, I know it may sound crazy that you have to schedule stuff, but we're all busy. You have to
yeah,
schedule stuff, and especially when it comes to family time, you have to know when to cut stuff off. Like, usually I catch myself sometimes on my phone, but then I'll just leave my phone like in my living room or in my room, and I'll just go about my day, because I do have like my Apple Watch, and I'll just look and be like, whatever. But two, you need to let your clients know that I am not always available for you. I will get back
mm,
to you when I get back to you, and let you
mm,
know. Like, you can't let that rule your life, because then
yeah,
your clients will start thinking that you're available at 10 o'clock and you're really not available at 10 o'clock. So, like, if you don't want to respond to emails at 10 o'clock, don't respond to emails at 10 o'clock. I don't take any calls on Mondays or Fridays. That's
wow,
just what I do. If you have your own business, you can decide for yourself for that. So
mm,
just know that you can divvy up your time and still be able to do all the things. You just have to have time management. Really.
mm,
That's
I
what it
love that.
really boils down to.
I love that. And earlier you said something that was really, really deep about writing things down, manifestation. Can you speak on the importance of entrepreneurs, writing their goals down and seeing it?
Absolutely. So I am so big on writing things down. I feel like when you write things down, it just makes it more believable, right?
Mm,
You can see it. I think it's important to write down your goals quarterly and yearly, because if
mm,
you don't, you won't have any direction or anything that you're working towards. And when you do write these goals down, they should be smart goals. They should be things that can be measured. Like, if your goal is to reach 100,000 followers on Instagram, how are you going to do that? Okay, I'm
mm,
going to create this many pieces of content. I'm going to engage. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You have to have a plan on how you're going to reach your goals. But I think when you first start by writing them down, that it makes it more real. Like, you need to see it. Like, I write my goals down at least in maybe 5 different places. I have a big sheet on
mm,
my wall on the other side that has like all the goals written, all my short-term goals written down, and all my long-term goals written down. I also journal. It's really therapeutic for me, and just a way to get out my thoughts. And something that I recently started doing is called scripting journaling. It's like
mm,
writing your future as if it's already happened.
mm,
And the reason why my agency blew up is probably because I scripted something very similar to this. So don't think that it's just a bunch of woo woo witchcraft,
mm.
whatever. None of that. You can believe
Yeah.
in whoever you believe
Mm,
in, God, the universe, whatever. But do know that writing things down, and you can make things happen because you are a powerful person.
mm.
I think that a lot of people forget that we hold the power ultimately.
It's
That whatever
facts.
happens in your life is because of you. Like, something may have happened that was bad, but it could have been of some thoughts that you had. So just
Mm.
know that everything that happens in your life is something because of you and your power.
That's awesome. My very last question for you: where do you see yourself your brand, the agency, the podcast, everything within the next 5 to 10 years? And also, where can everybody follow you, keep up with your work, everything?
Yeah, so in the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself speaking on stages across the country, across the world. I see, my agency growing into a global agency with more than just 5 employees. I definitely see us working with some of the top beauty and lifestyle brands to help them manage their social media. Um, I just see so much growth. Like, it's really hard for me to answer this question because it's like, oh my God. But yeah, I definitely do see more expansion for my brand, more expansion for my agency, more
Mm,
expansion for me and my family. I don't know, like, I could be living in LA or on somebody's TV, a talk show, anything.
mm.
So definitely, I have all of those big dreams and goals for myself and my agency. And yes, you all can find me right here on Instagram. My handle is Michelle L. Thames, and my social media agency is Thames Media Solutions. And I would love to connect with each of you. Yeah, my DMs are always open. I love building community. And I know you said that in the beginning, community is so important. So I just love interacting with my community and continuing to develop it.
Awesome. Michelle, thank you again so much for your time. And this interview will be posted on YouTube. So once it's posted, I'll make sure to share it with you. And I got you.
Yay, thank you so much. And thank you for reaching out. See, you
Thank
told the people exactly what they need to know. If you want to interview whoever it is, just reach out, because just because I have almost 30,000 followers doesn't make me any better than anybody else. And we just have to understand that and reach out to the people that we want to collaborate with, because it's all
you.
about collaboration over competition.
That's facts. That's facts. Thank you, and keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Beauty by Michael. Is that no? It's Michelle. Thank you
Yep.
so much. I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
appreciate Caleb for allowing me to come on his podcast and come on here and talk to you guys. I really do appreciate this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you have a great day. I'll keep following you, keep supporting, keep doing your thing.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.